Welcome back in SportsGrid Live from the FanDuel Sportsbook set here on Mandalay Bay. Kevin Walsh, Joe Lisi, Donnie Rightside, and Mike Blewett with you on Pro Football Today. A love story. Travis Kelce, a little Taylor Swift. There's a lot of puns available if you know the catalog. I'm the mastermind of the show. Boom, right there, hot out of the gate. How about that? Fearless heading into this segment. Bang, that's two. You got any?
I got karma, baby. I love that.
There you
Little
go.
Karma.
Donnie?
How about that?
Style? I mean, you could confirm that for me?
Yeah, look, I'm going to shake it off that you guys are picking the Niners, but we can move on and talk a little bit more Taylor.
Yeah.
No, he's got nothing?
No, that's...
That's good.
That is the
That's
tough
nice.
part of the bit is the Taylor knowledge is
Lacking.
You got to imagine that Shake It Off would have been pretty clean and would have landed with anybody. You don't know Shake It Off?
No.
Right.
What do you listen to?
You have
I
daughters.
go
They don't
to
listen to
that
Taylor
song.
Swift?
No. I listen to karma. I know the
I've
song.
never heard you listen to music. How about that?
Really?
All the time.
He's just breaking down film. He's just breaking down film. You
only
don't have time
breaking
to.
down schematics.
1980s college football games in his headphones at all time. What we are going to do here, as tempting as it might be to see if anybody out there still believes possibly this relationship is fake, we're going to talk about some props and correlated to a little bit of Taylor Swift. So let's get our radio audience in here. Sirius XM, channel 159. We are with you across the SportsGrid network with Pro Football Today. Blank space. No first quarter touchdown is booked at plus 200. There is a pathway I could see this happening, but Mike, the recent historical context of this wager.
Yeah, 3 times in the last 10 Super Bowls, we have had a scoreless first quarter, including the Pats-Falcons Super Bowl, which had an explosive amount of points, a 34-28 game. So the Patriots were involved in a lot of scoreless first quarters for themselves personally and overall throughout the last 20 years. It is a trend that can continue. It's not a lock by any means, Donnie, but we have seen it 3 out of the last 10 times, and I think a lot of times it's because teams are playing ball control. If the Chiefs get the ball kicked off to them to start the game, you're going to get a lot of Pacheco, and if they aren't able to score and it results in a 6-minute drive and a punt, that wouldn't surprise me.
I got to tell you right now, it would surprise me if they didn't score. I might shut the TV off at the end of the first quarter. We get no touchdowns in the first quarter, because the thing I love about this bet, that I do think there's going to be a touchdown scored in the first quarter, it's simple. 2 of the best schemers of game plan, of getting that team ready and prepared for the first quarter drives that are scripted plays. There's no way. Like, I'm thinking touchdown right off the bat, we start to get it popping. I can't stand that bet. There will be a touchdown, Joe, in the first quarter.
Yeah, I agree. I'll be Darth Vader. I hate this bet right now. I just cross it right off the board. It doesn't even get a thought from me, because you're right in regards to no touchdown in terms of the first quarter. That's the way Kansas City potentially wants to play this. Run Pacheco. Let's get out of Dodge. Let's stay in manageable third down situations, and let's keep Brock Purdy on the sidelines. Even though there's been overs, I cannot take that bet. Again, I understand how it's going to play out potentially, but I'm expecting San Francisco to start very fast in this matchup. That's why I'm not taking it.
I think the pathway there is KC starts with the football, 8-minute field goal drive, and by the time the Niners get into the end zone, it's the second quarter. That's
Butker, dominant.
That's shout out to Butker. Feeling 22. Ooh, good song. Trent McDuffie wears 22. He's plus 900 to record an INT in this game. Do you think McDuffie picks off Purdy?
He's a ball hog. And Purdy's been turnover prone in the playoffs.
Sounds like he could be taken advantage of.
Again, 9-1 is not a bad number, especially when you look at playmakers, the ability to lock down opposing wide receivers. 9-1, you get that type of price just for one interception, Donnie. It's something that I probably would jump on, along with some maybe Nick Bolton type of situations. He had a scoop and score as well, guys.
Yeah, I'm going to go a no on this one. Now, some people out there without the graphic might pull the old who he played for, but he's a very, very good defender there on the Kansas City Chiefs. 9-1 price, too much of the, things. And as Taylor Swift would say, I don't know about you, but I'm not playing this 9-1 on Trevor McDummy. McDummy out here. Yeah, get him out.
If I had to bet someone to get an INT, Mike, I think I'd go Fred Warner.
Yeah, I'm not on McDuffie here. And it's ironic because I think McDuffie and Snead will be a huge part of the game plan and trying to take Ayuk out of it. But I think San Francisco is going to pivot. I don't know that they'll be attacking the outside quite as much in this game. They're able to have an effective offensive game plan without having to include Ayuk. So I don't love it. It's a nice 9-1 dart, but to pick a specific player defensively for that, I actually am aligned with Joe. I think Nick Bolton's over on tackles is my favorite defensive prop in this game.
All right.
Ooh,
not bad.
defense.
We now make the move to the anti-hero. I think it's pretty clever. George Kittle, the other side of the field, their superstar tight end. To have 2+ touchdowns in this game is 15-1. I'm making you wait to answer that. Mike, what do you think about Kittle, the anti-hero?
The 2 touchdown props, they look so fun to get involved in, but I just don't think that it's always a possibility. But when I'm scripting the game plan that I think is going to happen, I don't have Kittle scoring 2 touchdowns. I think I have the Niners maybe scoring a total of 2 touchdowns. For them both to go to Kittle would be curious to me, just because I think McCaffrey will be such a big part of.
He's a great tight end, no get about it. Yeah. Can he get a touchdown here? I do believe he can, but from a 2-1 price here, only 15-1. I think I would need a little bit more. The 2-1 price points, I'd rather go Deebo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey. But my goodness, if Kittle is out here dominating and just go like, hey, it's me, hi, it all folds into it, Joe.
Yeah, it's confirmed. I love this bet. 15-1. What now? All of a sudden, the fact that it's lower and it's not maybe 30-1 like you would think leads me to believe that Kittle could be live in this matchup, not just in terms of touchdown scores, but maybe alt markets as it relates to his receiving. And you know what? Let's just take an MVP at 30-1.
Dominant in losses. We're on the same page. Dominant in losses.
You know why?
Loves the Niners.
Because if you're going to break it down, what's happened in terms of the regular season, especially in terms of playoffs and the Super Bowl, you have to break tendency. So when everybody's looking in terms of a specific weapon, that's what defensive coordinators do. Spagnuolo's going to take away Deebo. He's going to take away Ayuk, and more importantly, Christian McCaffrey. That should leave open George Kittle, and if he has mismatches, he could break out.
We have a couple of other good ones here. Lover, Travis Kelce, Super Bowl MVP. I know we have Karma, really like this one, which is the Niners to win 31-20, which was, of course, that score. And then I saw, is it over now at better than 11-1? Could this game get to overtime, Joe?
I think that's a potential overtime when you look at how these teams have played and how Kansas City has wore down. That game was on the line along with the game against Detroit.
I will say I'm glad we got to all of those because there was a lot of great work that went into it. It did save, though, me going wild over you saying the Niners are only going to score 2 touchdowns. At some point, we're going to have to address that here on Pro Football Today. We'll be right back.
Think about last year's game, it ends on the failed Hail Mary, and both teams run out onto the field. That's what you're looking for, is a
chaotic end of the game.
You can't get the game.
Oh, great point. Yeah.
2-point spread in the game. Think it could come down to the wire. Everyone says script, Taylor Swift, all this stuff. So I like 1,600, no Gatorade play.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
They have played terrible football, and yet they always win. Have you noticed? Everyone keeps talking about how bad the Niners suck as they win every week. They win every game, even games they're down 24-7 and they still won.
Now we have the first excuse when the Niners lose on Sunday night. They practiced on a bad field at UNLV. They didn't get the proper conditions.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
I'm digging deep, fellas. I'm digging deep. Christian McCaffrey minus 220. Donnie, how could you do that? The price point is way out of control in this. Keep it simple. The goal is to win money, not to outsmart everybody. Mahomes is minus 140 to throw 2 touchdown passes. And if he's going to, every single thing suggests a wide receiver will haul in at least one, if not both.
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
I saw a study that said 24% of Taylor Swift fans actually do follow the Chiefs now.
Sure.
And when you consider how many fans she has, it's quite a lot, 24%.
Oh, yeah. You seen Travis Kelce's Instagram, his social media?
Yeah.
Everything. Right. It's huge.
Oh, no, listen. He's, like his agent said, he's going to be the next Rock. Like, they're setting him up to be, the next superstar.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Back at the FanDuel set live here from Las Vegas, SportsGrid and Pro Football Today. We are going through a contest here. Yeah. These guys going toe-to-toe, tete-a-tete right now. Kevin Walsh, Donnie Rightside. Joe, you've been the judge. How does this look so far?
It's been a showdown. I mean, Kevin started the first 2 rounds, absolute haymakers. Donnie, a standing 8 count, but he gets off the mat with 2 uppercuts to put Kevin down. Does Donnie win the next 2 rounds? We'll see how this plays out, boys.
Yeah. So Kev had the 4-0 lead. Donnie comes back. Donnie, let's see if you can continue the comeback right now.
Look, let's hype this up a little bit more, like pre-fight action. You know what I mean? Like if I want to equate this to the movies, right? Because we're talking about scripts a lot this weekend. We'll have some fun with this. We're out here in Las Vegas. But did you ever watch Rocky 3? You know what I mean? Clubber Lang, first matchup with Rocky, goes out there and he gets pummeled. But the second, which the comeback starts to come on, where he takes that stance, you ain't so bad, you ain't so bad. That's what it is right now.
Wow.
Come on, you ain't so bad, Kevin.
Yeah,
come on.
Here's the deal, right? Your best case scenario is a tie. This is what we call on the FanDuel Sportsbook set a no-sweat bet, my friends. Not a worry in my bone here, Mike Blewett. I'm feeling great.
All right, so Kev, cocky, Donnie feeling good about the comeback. Donnie, how do you start it off?
Look, we want rushing props in the Super Bowl here, and a nice little combination at the FanDuel Sportsbook. A 3-1 price here for me. Check it out. CMC and Debo, $150 combined rushing yards on the ground. And you know what I like about this bet? This guy might get it just himself. This is how easy it's going to be. One guy, as Joe Lisi would say. You know what? I would like it even more if it was just CMC, 150 plus as a combo here. Yeah. So I'm going to play up to the judges here a little bit. Give me this at a 3-1 price. It's happening, Kevin.
I'll just say this. I saw it. I got worried. And then you only hyped up CMC. Yeah. Not play into the judge is how I feel about that. Mine. Maybe it does appeal to Judge Lisi because it involves Christian McCaffrey in the receiving game, paired with Travis Kelce. These 2 superstars to combine for 10 first-half receptions. 5-5. Kelce breaks out in a big way. He's been dominant in first halves. I wouldn't like this if it was the second half. He could very well bring 8 to the table. But if CMC gets the hot start that we've talked about here on this show, Donnie, legitimately chance for 4 to 7 first-half catches here, and we take down a plus 900.
I don't know, though, because I don't think you're getting the vibe in the room during the show as maybe one of those judges like, whoa, boy, George Kittle got the mind thinking here. No. So we're no longer on Kelce at this point. I agree. It's a fine bet, but let's be truthful. In a way, they're getting 10-plus catches here, and no way the judges are going to agree with that pick. It can't happen.
Right. Plus 300, Mike, against plus 900. You can take it back and set up the judge.
I know, Kev, you make it look fancy here with the plus 900, but, Joe, this is about which bet you think can win. Yeah.
Well, they're trying to get on my good side because they both use CMC and Debo, and obviously I was starting to lean to Kevin, but I have to be honest. Donnie, breaks out the Rocky III reference. You know why Rocky lost that first fight, guys?
Wasn't hungry.
He was afraid to lose what he had. I'm going to go with Donnie. CMC and Debo, 3-1. I'm not big on this Kelsey. He's the main target for Patrick Mahomes. If San Francisco is going to win this ballgame, they need to take away their best option. That's why I went with Donnie over Kevin.
All right, Joe, not a fan of the greatest pass-catching tight end in NFL history, so we'll go for round two right here.
Let's just say that is exactly what I would expect to be true of Joe Lisi, to not be a fan of Travis Kelce in any capacity because of his greatness. That just sounds very on brand. We're now going to hit a Super Bowl MVP long shot, and I've talked about this in the build-up to the game, but if you handed out an MVP at the end of Niners-Packers, many would have looked to CMC. No love for Dre Greenlaw at a gazillion to 1. I think it's 500 to 1 to be exact. In that game, 2 interceptions, the pivotal turn one against Jordan Love, and then the clincher as well. Led the team in tackles in that game as well. I think Mahomes has the ability to throw multiple picks in this matchup. And then if they're trailing, a couple more offensive plays, rally to the football, some more tackles here. Dre Greenlaw, Donnie, 500 to 1.
Sounds like right now as we match this up and going back to a Rocky reference on the beach when he said, I'm afraid, all right? For the first time in my life, I'm afraid. That's Kevin right now as he's starting to pull out 50,000 bets right now to try to get back into the good grace of the judge. People out there, forget about even the judge over to my right. You're seeing this right now. This sounds like a scared wager he had to make to try to curry favor, and it's not going to work, Kevin. It's just
I'll
not.
just tell you this, pal.
It's not.
I went 500 to 1. You better hope I don't see chalk over there in this Super Bowl long shot.
Two worlds collide, rival nations right now, so that's where I leave it.
What do you got
now?
Pal?
Let's go. All right, season specials for me. Let's get after it right now because you know why? We're not going to take $50K. We don't need that. You know what we need? A 50, but a 50 to 1 price here. It's Rashee Rice. If we can get 100 yards, if we can get a touchdown, and the possibility of a Chiefs victory, this one's coming home now. Nobody is cashing in a 50,000 to 1 ticket or whatever he was presenting over there. But you know what we can do? We can take down a 50 to 1. That's happening here. Rashee Rice, fellow wide receivers always stick together. He might take this down.
1, you're missing a couple of zeros. 2, I've heard some people wonder. Did your build up there? Was that because you weren't
excited?
You weren't sure who was actually going to appear behind?
No, actually I did, but I just wanted to get the points out here at this point. But it comes down to this. That has no shot. This has a shot. Give yourself a shot on the Super Bowl to get some money. Don't worry about this, guys.
I think with Judge Lisi, anything has a shot.
This century, 5 wide receivers have won the Super Bowl MVP, but 4 linebackers, Joe.
It's juicy. I love seeing plus money across the board, but we've seen multiple defensive players, including Aaron Donald and Devin White, not get the MVP. And if you're backing the over like me, 47.5, it's juicy. It can get to 50 plus. Dun, 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 dun. Donnie wins.
Yes! Adrian!
And not only that, I will say this about Rashee Rice. He can and take this game over. We talked about his performance against Miami as well, guys. 8 receptions, a buck 40, one touchdown, and he did have 8 receptions.
That's what I should have done. I should have given him a long shot. Debo, short. No, okay.
Also, it is a long shot.
Did anybody take into effect that Kevin left for a segment too?
Kevin,
We held it down.
50 to 1.
There we go. Yeah.
50 to 1.
I have
welcome back,
6
Kev.
more zeros.
By the way, I'm very confused with the plus 50K. It's really getting to me right now.
To be honest, you could tell me that these are the same price.
I'm telling you.
Is that a progressive that he hit? He hit the progressive.
You could absolutely sell me on that.
Right. So, again, 5 times this century, you've had a wide receiver win Super Bowl MVP, 4 defensive players. Donnie, you'll see a little bit later, I'm aligned with you on Rashee Rice, potentially doing some damage here. Rashee Rice, obviously, Joe, would you say that Rashee Rice, as far as outside wide receivers in this game, has the best chance to have an explosive game?
I don't know if he has the best chance. He has the best chance on Kansas City to have an explosive game. You look at his number, 67.5. I can tell you this right now. He doesn't get over that total. I don't believe Kansas City wins this ball game in any capacity. So they're going to need him to step up, take the pressure off of Travis Kelce because of the lack of consistency of the rest of the Kansas City offense, Mike.
Yeah. Why do you like Greenlaw more than Warner?
Oh, because I've seen Greenlaw do it. Obviously, I think Fred Warner is excellent here, but I legitimately think that game against Green Bay, Greenlaw would have had as good of an argument as Christian McCaffrey. I understand the nature of this number here, but when you try and grab a defensive player, it is very, very difficult because so much has to go right for a defensive player to actually break through. Like, you would think, well, if it's a defense, it's got to be Nick Bosa. That's not how this works.
Yeah, agreed. And Malcolm Smith, Larry Brown, Dexter Jackson, a lot of names throughout history that have won defensive MVPs, not necessarily the standout player on their teams. Donnie, any final thoughts on these two?
I think it was pretty clear who ended the week. It was the veteran presence in the room, giving you the picks that you needed here, and finally the judges, a little bit groggy early in the week, they came to their senses with the smelling salts. The right decisions were made here today.
Listen,
Kev just hemorrhaged the lead. This is very Detroit Lions.
Here's the deal. Okay, there's a lot of these that I was okay with
That's
losing.
Dan Quinn over there.
Everyone knows that Lisi made a mistake not switching his pick on the Gatorade when Ben backed Donnie. Everybody knows.
4-4, tied up. We're back after this.
Think about last year's game. It ends on a failed Hail Mary, and both teams run out onto the field. That's what you're looking for, is a game.
A chaotic end of the game.
You can't get the game.
Oh, great point. Yeah.
2-point spread in the game. Think it could come down to the wire. Everyone says script, Taylor Swift, all this stuff. So I like 1,600, no Gatorade play.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
They have played terrible football, and yet they always win. Have you noticed? Everyone keeps talking about how bad the Niners suck as they win every week. They win every game, even games they should have. They're down 24-7, and they still won.
Now we have the first excuse. When the Niners lose on Sunday night, they practiced on a bad field at UNLV. They didn't get the proper conditions.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
I'm digging deep, fellas. I'm digging deep. Christian McCaffrey minus 220. Donnie, how could you do that? The price point is way out of control in this. Keep it simple. The goal is to win money, not to outsmart everybody. Mahomes is minus 140 to throw 2 touchdown passes. And if he's going to, every single thing suggests a wide receiver will haul in at least one, if not both.
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
I saw a study that said 24% of Taylor Swift fans actually do follow the Chiefs now.
Sure.
And when you consider how many fans she has, it's quite a lot, 24%.
Oh, yeah. You seen Travis Kelce's Instagram, his social media? Everything. Right. It's huge.
Oh, no, listen. He's, like his agent said, he's going to be the next rock. Like, they're setting him up to be, the next superstar.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It is about to be a parlay party here on Pro Football Today. Kevin Walsh, Joe Lisi, Donnie Rightside, and Mike Blewett with you on the FanDuel Sportsbook set. Here we're trying to extend, I believe, a little tempo here. We are not giving you plus 200, plus 500, plus 1,200. I think, was it 40 to 1 is what we put the floor at here. So we've got some tangy options, and Joe starts first.
Well, I put it up right at the area of about 49, 50 to 1. Juwan Jennings. You say, why Juwan Jennings, guys? 1 reception, 8 yards against Detroit. But guess what? Against Green Bay, 5 receptions, 61 yards. You talk about a 40-plus for Rashad Jennings. Christian McCaffrey, we talk about his explosiveness. His regular number dipped from 34.5 down to 33.5. Give me 60-plus for potentially the best running back on the field. And then Brock Purdy. Multiple games this year, 6 times over 300. His number is 246.5. I think he absolutely blows right through that, Kev. It's a party over maybe at 49 to, plus 49.20.
My question to you, Donnie, of the 3 legs, which of them are you most interested in?
To be honest, it probably would be the lower end of the spectrum, which would be Jennings to get 40 yards.
Really?
Because it's one of those things where you have a couple weeks to get ready. And what do we know? What do we know about the Kansas City Chiefs, though, to be honest? A very good defense with Spagnuolo. You're going to try to limit a lot of damage. You might be able to get that in 1 or 2 catches there.
I mean, we're doing Juwan Jennings as our favorite here?
Well, out of this,
yeah, we're talking long shots, no chalk on this show. No chalk.
Hold on. Let Blewett go, because I think I agree.
Christian McCaffrey is on this list.
Yes.
At 60-plus receiving yards.
Correct.
Yep. You've got 2 Niners backers over here.
Right.
But you're like, yeah, Jennings, that's the guy.
Don't get hot at us. Yeah. Don't get hot at us.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, because for me,
you don't see any
let me break it
Purdy
down.
Gets the 3.
Kevin set this up hoping I would pick Purdy, and then would have said, oh, so now it's Brock Purdy. So there's no way I can pick Brock Purdy in this. Christian McCaffrey, legitimate chance to get the 60. So I have to go Juwan Jennings by default just so I can avoid Kevin here. That's how the segment just played out for me.
Great wiggle by you.
Yeah, it's a wiggle.
But tell me this.
Okay.
If Juwan Jennings has 40 receiving yards in this game,
then I should just leave.
I mean, Purdy's thrown for 350 plus.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Right.
Okay.
But that's the way
So we need to extend this a little more.
I built a parlay of how I believe the game flow will work.
Right.
So you're going to get secondary and third options in regards to the passing game, and everybody, I look, where's the money going? It's going on McCaffrey, it's going on Debo, going on Ayuk and Kittle. Who's the one guy that actually stepped up in a playoff performance with 5 receptions, 61 yards? It's Juwan Jennings.
To be clear, far less offended by your parlay than his ranking of the legs of the parlay.
I mean, if we would have said McCaffrey, 160-plus rushing yards, Mike probably would have went with that anyway. Yeah, McCaffrey's on there, 160 receiving yards? Got it.
I belabored the point.
I will also say, if I know Joe Lisi, this is one of his better bets of the entire Super Bowl. So key in there. Donnie, your chance here for a little parlay.
Let's have some fun. This is going to be a 50 to 1 shot as well, and a little bit of a correlation for me. And you say, well, you got some different names in there and some different teams. Hear me out on this. I do think the San Francisco 49ers win this football game. If they do, probably by margin, I'll take them by a touchdown here. So you say, well, wouldn't that be a correlation where you take San Francisco wide receivers or running backs? But again, hear me out. If I think the front runner in this football game is going to be the 49ers, that means Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs will be forced to pass. I already told you there's a legitimate chance that Rashee Rice at a 50 to 1 price can be the MVP. Well, if he's going to be MVP or in that realm, he's going to have at least 100 yards or more receiving. And I'm going to take MVS at 50 plus. The chance to get that deep shot here and take care of that in 2 to 3 catches is a possibility. Is it a long shot, guys? Absolutely. But it's 50 to 1, and it doesn't look all that crazy to me.
You like this one, Joe?
I like the Niners minus the 6.5 because we talked about the potential for a late score and extend it for a double digit. So that I don't have a problem with that. The one that I do struggle with is the Valdez-Scantling because he does have stone hands at times. And is Pat Mahomes going to really want to go to him in a big spot? I know he did.
Oh, he never goes to him in a big spot.
Well, he did last week, or 2 weeks ago. Consistently, that's a concern.
That's great.
I like the way this is turning out.
How do you feel, Mike, about this parlay?
What I like about it is it's correlated really well. It's a Niners victory where the Chiefs have to throw their way back into it. MVS is obviously the riskiest part of it, but it makes sense as a bet if you're putting it together. I don't love it because I'm a Chiefs fan.
Now I'm getting angry.
There is.
I want to leave. I'll leave.
The amount of times we've done Sell Me Something where Donnie's just like, all right, good pick. and then notices not everybody's saying the same about his. He's like, no, hold on a minute. I'd like to change my answer.
Now, whoever's up next is.
Well, you've got the Chiefs backer wants to. I'm not laying 6.5.
Hold on. I actually want to hit on one key thing, though, because I feel, not that you've been playing the fence, Donnie, but you haven't been positive yet where you're going in this game for a winner.
Yeah.
Confident now in San Fran.
Yes, and again, this comes back from 2 weeks ago, that Monday, where we were on the radio. I'm just hot going, like, I don't care what the game is. Don't bring me to Super Bowl. Mahomes is going to win because he's just there. Cooler heads finally starting to prevail. And the better team for me is the 49ers, so they're starting to come around.
Now, what if I told you in some capacity one of these items would appear in my parlay? If you had to guess which one it would be, you'd probably tend to think it would be Niners minus the 6.5. But I am putting together what I call the what if Donnie is right parlay.
Ooh,
and I mean, what if Donnie is right and that the Niners win by $1 billion, and that means Pat Mahomes throws it 60 times for 450 yards. Well, then we're getting breakout performance after breakout performance. Justin Watson, 40+. Did it 7 times in the regular season. Noah Gray, 25+. He also did that 7 times in the regular season. MVS last week didn't get to 40, but he did the week before. This is one of those things. If Mahomes does throw for 400 yards in this game, which I do not think he will, only so many of them, Donnie, can go to Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce. I'm basically giving you what you've been asking for. Niners by a lot. Mahomes throws for countless passing yards.
Throw me over the peace sign right here, the peace offering. I'm really appreciating this parlay here at this point. And I know Joe Lisi probably fired up as the tertiary options on the outside here that we can get after. But when you look at this, too, it's a high number. Like, these are parlays that we picked out. Like, yeah, exactly. A plus 250, plus 350. Like, no, we're really ramping it up. But you can look at this and say, it's not outlandish that this happens. You get one drive put together where Watson has 20 yards, Valdez-Scantling catches a 17-yard pass, and Gray's get 13 yards in the first half. You're feeling great about this parlay, and sometimes that's all it takes to get to that big number.
Yeah, it's 105 total passing yards. That's not out of the realm of that. I mean,
it's great, man.
That's what I'm saying. It's 262.5 for Mahomes.
Yeah.
If he throws even for 188, it's the potential in terms of that breakdown to get there, 47-1. Kev, I actually like it, but I'm not going to play it.
Rene Descartes on set with all the math. I wasn't aware there'd be so much math. So, he's a mathematician, guys. Come on, keep up.
Who play for?
The reserve safety for the Chiefs. So, all right. So, we'll probably spend the least amount of time on my parlay. We'll get to Kevin's here. And I'll just say that Noah Gray is the challenge. But you laid it out. It's a correlated bet. That's similar to Donnie's. You like if the game plays out in a particular way, Mahomes throwing for 1 million yards, Noah Gray is the real challenge here. These other guys, if he's throwing that much, are less of a challenge to me.
I'll say 2 quick things. One, for some reason, MVS is the one that is the shortest odds. He's the one I like the least in this parlay, which I've been hanging out with Joe too much.
Yeah.
Second, if we made Lisi pick between Donnie and I's parlay to break the tie, I think I would win, but I won't do that. Blewett, what do you got?
Okay, well, you got a lot coming up here, so obviously we'll just go right through it. Second half under 23.5. I think everybody sort of likes that bet in general. Both defenses limit their opponents to 8 points or less a game. The Chiefs, not a high-scoring second half team, only a touchdown a game. Isaiah Pacheco, anytime touchdown, I think everybody would sign off on that individually. Rashee Rice, as the first touchdown scorer, is what the challenge will be. But, Donnie, you just got through saying that Rashee Rice at 50-1 is a possibility for Super Bowl MVP. So, everybody, you're welcome on the winner.
How do you feel,
I
Joe?
think it's absolutely atrocious. I can't back that in any capacity. I'm completely against it in regards to this. I can't. The bells and whistles, Mike. God bless you. I can't take the under second half in terms of the 23.5 because I believe I think this game goes 57, 58 points. There's no way that my scenario plays out with the second half under, so I can't do it.
So we're at odds. I get it. It's all right.
It's just that this is a straight
upset him
wager.
so much.
This is like minus 130. He didn't even care about this. He's like, okay, maybe Rice gets in there first to open the game up. These two, he's disgusted by. He hates both.
You can't possibly see Pacheco crossing the goal line.
Not in a game with 60 points.
He's great. Exactly.
That's right.
Now, it makes sense, the second half under 23.5, because that's how we know the Kansas City Chiefs like to front run it. Pacheco probably is going to score a touchdown. But again, we point this this out. It's 44-1. It's not 4-1. The tough one you have to throw in there sometimes is Rashee Rice, the touchdown scorer, and be the first touchdown scorer.
Yeah.
So I think there's a legitimate chance he does get in the end zone, but that's your coin flip there. This game starts with a first touchdown Rashee Rice. You're looking really good now.
By the way, if that happens, you'll have a text within seconds.
And Lisi will reply.
Yes.
Easy part is over. Now the hard stuff begins.
Now the hard stuff happens. The team that plays a specific way all season long, no possible chance that can happen.
I just want to, because we had your regret, which was fine. We had the parlay, but you went second half under. I think everybody'd sign off on that. And I whispered to him, "You like that?" And he went, "No." He absolutely hated that pick here.
It's okay.
I mean, a lot of good. What I need to figure out. I think there's no contradictions in the parlay.
I think you can put them all there.
I think we can put all four together.
I think you can.
And we'll just figure out what it is on the other side.
Mix
it's
and
going to
match.
be a lot. Will you be willing to take
that would be at risk if we combine them, the second half under, because there's a lot of
We
yardage.
take that out. We could throw in Rasheed Rice
and then we call Lisi's
a lot of turnover on downs, Mike, inside the red area in that second half. We will continue to break down Super Bowl 58 next.
Think about last year's game. It ends on a failed Hail Mary, and both teams run out onto the field. That's what you're looking for, is a game.
A chaotic end of the game.
You can't get the game.
Oh, great point. Yeah.
2-point spread in the game. Think it could come down to the wire. Everyone says script, Taylor Swift, all this stuff. So I like 1,600, no Gatorade play.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
They have played terrible football, and yet they always win. Have you noticed? Everyone keeps talking about how bad the Niners suck as they win every week. They win every game, even games they should have. They're down 24-7, and they still won.
Now we have the first excuse. When the Niners lose on Sunday night, they practiced on a bad field at UNLV. They didn't get the proper conditions.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
I'm digging deep, fellas. I'm digging deep. Christian McCaffrey minus 220. Donnie, how could you do that? The price point is way out of control in this. Keep it simple. The goal is to win money, not to outsmart everybody. Mahomes is minus 140 to throw 2 touchdown passes. And if he's going to, every single thing suggests a wide receiver will haul in at least one, if not both.
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
I saw a study that said 24% of Taylor Swift fans actually do follow the Chiefs now.
Sure.
And when you consider how many fans she has, it's quite a lot, 24%.
Oh, yeah. You seen Travis Kelce's Instagram, his social media? Everything. It's huge.
Oh, no, listen. Like his agent said, he's going to be the next rock. Like, they're setting him up to be, the next superstar.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
That's me. Sorry. I thought I was going right to Kev. Kev, we're going to do the triple option right here. I've got an over, an under, and a long shot. All four of us will do it. We start out with Kev Walsh.
Absolutely. We will begin this triple option with an over on Brandon Ayuk's 4.5 receptions prop. He is their wide receiver one. He has not been able to deliver on that, though, throughout this postseason so far. 6+ targets for Brandon Ayuk. Only 3 receptions, though, so far. I mean, I'm going to eventually walk past it here, but there he goes. Look at him. He's catching the ball. Good mojo. We like that. Also, by the way, Chiefs have been excellent against top wideouts all year long. It started to slip a little bit down the back stretch. Look at what we saw from Zay Flowers last week. Our under. The first touchdown scorer jersey number, we're going under 19.5. You'll see some of the main reasons why, especially Deebo Samuel. Christian McCaffrey is the reason why we are getting this number the way we are. It's CMC and the tight ends towards the over, which I get, but I don't see Kelsey in the end zone. Kittle, you could sell me. McCaffrey, I worry about how frequently he's there and if he can actually do it again. Also, I'm starting to wonder if Purdy really does rush it in. I've been hanging out with Lisi all week. The long shot touchdown, though, is not Brock Purdy. It is Elijah Mitchell, 10-1. He scored last week, guys, which is in some ways maybe diminishing my chances here of Mitchell doubling up 2 weeks in a row. But the world where McCaffrey misses one key play, one key drive, or a bulk of this game, I am getting a running back in Eli Mitchell who has performed whenever they've needed him to step up in replacement of whatever top Niners back is injured, Mike.
Yeah, look, Eli Mitchell closed out that game last week. Yeah. We all know that Christian McCaffrey is going to take the workload the majority of the game, but it doesn't eliminate anybody else from getting touches in a game like this, particularly when you're in your camp, where there could be some distance at the end of this game if the Niners are up by 10 points or more.
Yeah, I don't love. I'm a little shocked at you. I'm a little shocked, Hero. Yeah, a little shocked. Okay. I'm a little shocked that K-Dubs didn't take a bigger shot.
You sent yourself over, too. Really? Yeah, big star.
I did. I sent myself over. You know why? Because I'm going with the spark plug of San Francisco. We talk about Tyreek Hill type of players. It's Deebo Samuel for me, guys, but not receiving. It's rushing 16.5. I'm alternate it up to 50+ at 8-1. I think they get them utilized in the rushing attack, get them moving sideline to sideline. That's how you attack Steve Spagnuolo's defense. Deebo Samuel over 50 rushing yards for me. Under. I don't know one Taylor Swift song outside of Karma. Everybody's concentrating on Travis Kelce over the 70.5, 72.5. You have to take away the best option. If San Francisco is going to win this ball game, they need to take away Travis Kelce under 70.5, and then the long shot, Juwan Jennings. 5 receptions, 61 yards. He doesn't hail from the San Bernardine Mountains.
No, he does
but
not.
He might if he scores a touchdown on Sunday. 7-1 for Juwan Jennings. I'm on his total, and touchdown score at 7-1. I think it comes out to 104-1 if you play it.
Oh, you did put it all together. I'm sure that you did. Donnie, how do you feel about Lisi's performance?
I like the performance overall. I did like that he was confident enough to say, you know what, I'm going to walk over when I feel like walking over because how good these plays actually are. The Juwan Jennings ones is going to be interesting here, which I was slandered for putting a Juwan Jennings or commenting on that there, but good to see that we can find him in the end zone in this one. But I think we can all agree, Deebo Samuel is going to be in a lot of parlays, a lot of picks, and I can't disagree with any of that. I love the Deebo pick.
Yeah, I mean, what's fun about this one, Kev, is that
this is wild.
Why can't I walk right now?
Everyone's just so fast
walking right now. Yeah,
do what you got to do.
That's what this show's all about. We're getting comfortable, and I will say that Joe picking Juwan Jennings to have a huge game and the best pass-catching tight end in NFL history to not have a good game, that's a wild prediction.
That's on brand.
It is on brand. So, all right, so the only thing I feel badly about in this segment is that these are such locks that it's going to really intimidate these guys. So the over right here, Harrison Butker, over 1.5 field goals. I think what we've seen really throughout the last couple of seasons, and particularly in the playoffs, is Andy Reid is not shy on utilizing Harrison Butker, particularly early in the game. So I could see a drive early, that sustained drive that we talked about, a lot of Pacheco. But if it stalls because the Niners defense holds him, I'm not afraid to have Harrison Butker get a field goal early and then tack one on throughout the game. The under here was Brandon Ayuk, under 62.5 receiving yards. I just feel like as part of this game plan, even if the Niners are successful, while he's an explosive and talented player, I feel like the strength of the Kansas City defense, yes, Chris Jones and George Karlaftis up front are fantastic, but Trent McDuffie and L'Jarius Sneed's ability to cover outside could really hamper the type of game that Ayuk has, even in a loss. Even in a loss for the Chiefs. I feel like Ayuk may not be a big factor in this game because of Kittle, McCaffrey, and some of the other options that we've talked about. And finally, the long shot. I've talked about him all week. I like his over on rushing attempts. I like his over on rushing yards. I think the requisite number of touches that he could see. I understand he'd be stealing the MVP away from Patrick Mahomes, but Isaiah Pacheco at 25-1, I think has an option with the sheer amount of touches that he gets. Obviously, it's a long shot for a reason. We have not seen a running back win the Super Bowl MVP since 1998 when Terrell Davis won it for the Broncos.
How do you feel about that, Donnie?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense here. If you're looking, and again, from a San Francisco perspective, you probably want that 1.5 field goal attempts here to come true because that means that's less touchdowns on the board. Brandon Ayuk is going to be an interesting one because even as Joe pointed out multiple times on the show, he's had some really good games, but it just feels like everybody's talking about Deebo Samuel more, so we'll see how Brandon Ayuk factors in. And Isaiah Pacheco, if they do win, talking about the Chiefs, the championship, and he gets in the end zone at least once, he's going to be in that conversation.
You were very critical of Mike's parlay. Any love for any of those picks?
I like the kicker in terms of Butker over the 1.5 attempts because that's the way I think they want to play this ball game in regards to a lower scoring matchup. So the potential to maybe hit a game winner or even a field goal in the first half. You get two, there you go. You're over the 1.5. I mean, are you?
But I hit a game winner. I've lost you. I've lost you.
No, but I have to show some love.
No, you don't.
He was 1 for 2 last year in the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, he's not going to be that this year, but it's a good pick.
All right, so you love the Chiefs all of a sudden.
I don't love the Chiefs.
No, it's good to know.
I do not.
I'm
love
happy
the Chiefs.
for you. I'm trying to bring over Kittle in the loss.
It's Jennings and Chiefs. That's what Joe's
apparently. Donnie, I appreciate you not walking on your own.
Yep.
But if you'd like to take the stage, it's all yours.
I'll take the stage, the red carpet, one more time here. Attention to detail, focus, listening to direction. Look, the directors do a great job behind the scene for us, the producers and everything. I take pride in that, so I make sure that we do things the right way once we get over to the board here and have some fun, which means the right way and the right side is to take an over in this game. That's Brock Purdy over. 1.5 touchdown passes. I do think he's going to be a catalyst for a victory here for the 49ers, but at the same time, I actually don't think he can be the MVP, which might upset some people on the panel. But if you're talking about chances to score touchdowns, it's the San Francisco 49ers. Brock Purdy will be in position to throw those 2 touchdown passes. I think this is a solid effort. If we're taking a look at an under at this point now, do you know why I'm looking under here? It's going to be the running back position. It's Isaiah Pacheco here for the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll go under 67.5. And the reason that we like the under is I don't think in the second half there's going to be a whole lot of running the football here for Isaiah Pacheco. I've been around Kevin Walsh, Joe Lisi all season long. They beat into my head, Donnie. At the end of football games, if you're losing, you always throw, particularly with Mahomes. We're going to leave Isaiah Pacheco completely out of this game. He might have a decent ball game, 67.5. I don't think he's getting there. Now, my favorite number in this football game and throughout my life has always been the number 13. So a 13-1 long shot here. Check it out. Catching passes is what we're going to do in this game for a lot of yards here. Kelsey, Rice, Deebo, and Ayuk. Take a look at that. 400-plus receiving yards.
Super Bowl is set in Vegas. We get a rematch from just a few years ago.
The only consistency in the playoffs has been Travis Kelce.
Brock Purdy, back-to-back weeks throwing one touchdown pass, right? You can't win MVP with one touchdown pass.
I hate the Chiefs, but I bet on them.
This is going to be a game that is played inside a field goal now from a spread perspective.
All that matters is there's one game left, the big game.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Purdue on the road in a very difficult place to win in Piscataway, New Jersey. Not in Jersey Mike's Arena, but in the rack. And it was tight.
You still have to win these games. Like, you can talk about even equate it to the NBA. Like OKC just rolling into Detroit, going, yeah, this is going to be an easy victory, and not coming away with the W because you're not focused here. Good move there for the Purdue Boilermakers. You can take a look at Zach Edey.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
To the big news here. A big push for Georgia to get things going as far as legalized sports betting. And Pat, I don't want to get people too excited. It's not like this is happening this year.
The Senate version and the House version, and then they're going to have to get a couple of people from each chamber together and kind of wrestle out the details of what exactly sports betting in Georgia might look like.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
I can tell you, like, Las Vegas is heavy San Francisco territory. All right, there are a ton of Niner fans, man, in Las Vegas and in Nevada, and specifically Reno. Reno's close, obviously, right? So, like, Reno's numbers will be a little bit different, but the total of 47.5. I get it.
Sports Rage Late Night. Only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network.
Well, look at the Heisman.
The early line.
Pro football today, back
means
right here on the FanDuel Sportsbook set. A few technical difficulties, likely because Donnie was heating up the set with some excellent picks. We had 13-1 with some high-level games from these pass catchers. Pacheco under when that's Blewett Super Bowl MVP, and also Donnie showing his cards. He loves Brock Purdy. He thinks he has a major game. He likes him for 3 passing touchdowns and 250 plus. I see it all over his eyes, whether he wants to admit it or not. We are going to hit our typical break here. When we come back, Mike Blewett will give us a final play to round out this week of 5 best bets. But I would also love to get everybody's final score, because since I had my put to the fire and I had to give the 31-13 that I do believe in, I'd love to know what you have going on. I'm very curious where Donnie lands. And Mike Blewett, just 2 Super Bowls ago, nailed the final score. Cincinnati, LA, the Rams won 24-23. So could Mike Blewett do it again? We will look to answer that question after this quick break right here on SportsGrid.
Think about last year's game, it ends on the failed Hail Mary, and both teams run out onto the field. That's what you're looking for, is a game.
A chaotic end of the game.
You can't get the game.
Oh, great point. Yeah.
2-point spread in the game. Think it could come down to the wire. Everyone says script, Taylor Swift, all this stuff. So I like 1600, no Gatorade Port.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
They have played terrible football, and yet they always win. Have you noticed? Everyone keeps talking about how bad the Niners suck as they win every week. They win every game, even games they should have. They're down 24-7 and they still won.
Now we have the first excuse. When the Niners lose on Sunday night, they practiced on a bad field at UNLV. They didn't get the proper conditions.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
I'm digging deep, fellas. I'm digging deep. Christian McCaffrey minus 220. Donnie, how could you do that? The price point is way out of control in this. Keep it simple. The goal is to win money, not to outsmart everybody. Mahomes is minus 140 to throw 2 touchdown passes. And if he's going to, every single thing suggests a wide receiver will haul in at least one, if not both.
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
I saw a study that said 24% of Taylor Swift fans actually do follow the Chiefs now.
Sure.
And when you consider how many fans she has, it's quite a lot, 24%.
Oh, yeah. You seen Travis Kelce's Instagram, his social media?
Yeah.
Everything. It's huge.
Oh, no, listen. He's, like his agent said, he's going to be the next Rock. Like, they're setting him up to be, the next superstar.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Pro Football Today, live from the FanDuel Sportsbook set here in Las Vegas. I'm Kevin Walsh, it's Joe Lisi, it's Donnie Rightside, and it is Mike Blewett. It is time for one final play. Before that, though, let me just thank everybody involved with what we have been doing up here all week long on Pro Football Today, live here in Las Vegas, behind the scenes, in front of the camera, back home in New York and New Jersey. We appreciate everything you've done to make this possible. So far, we have Mahomes rush yards over, Debo rush yards over, the first half over, Niners money line, Blewett close that out.
Yeah, so like I said earlier in the show, you have to get comfortable in the NFL taking unders and underdogs. I like the second half under 23.5. The Chiefs, one of the lower scoring second half teams, basically a touchdown per game. Both teams limit their opposing offenses to basically 8 points or less per game. I think it all melds together. Steve Spagnuolo locking it down to the second half. And whether it's a Niners win or a Chiefs win, I don't think there's a lot of points in the second half.
All right, let's hit these final scores. I've already put mine on the table. 31-13 Niners. I do like that I organically had Kansas City scoring Taylor Swift's favorite number, which is 13. The inverse of that for San Fran hitting 31. This team is due to break out for a monster victory, and that's what I think happens on Sunday, Joe.
I like 38-28 San Francisco. Might be a 3-point game heading into the fourth. Late touchdown makes it a 10-point win for Kyle Shanahan and potentially MVP Brock Purdy. Donnie.
31-17 San Francisco. I like San Francisco to win by margin, but that number is razor sharp on that total here. But the one thing I'm sure of, a double-digit victory for San Francisco, I think is in the cards.
Okay, a couple of years ago, Rams-Bengals, I did call it 23-20. Let's run it back. Chiefs 23-20. We got Rashee Rice first touchdown. Pacheco scores 3 Butker field goals. And I'll give you 3 San Francisco touchdowns so you don't yell at me with a missed extra point from Jake Moody. 23-20 Chiefs.
You know what? That was pretty solid there with that missed extra point. Mike Blewett, Donnie Rightside, Joe Lisi, a shout out to Ben Stevens. I'm Kevin Walsh. One final time from the FanDuel Sportsbook set here in Las Vegas. Pro Football Today. We'll see you next time.